social media. Why? It's already lies. Nolan, I'm so sorry. Why you scrub your social media? Why? Oh, it's already lies. Just tell us what really happened to Nolan. How did he get in that water? Oh, Mississippi, stand up right now. Why the hell they so silent? If you know you didn't do it, and if you can prove it, just say it out loud. Oh, 18 years young, football dreams in his hands, out on Horn Island with the so-called friends. Boat trip for the 4th, celebrating life, but he never made it back, left in the night. Mama posted, calling for help on the net, 2 days searching, heart full of pain. Now the body found, but the story don't add up. Phone left behind, strong swimmer. What the fuck, something just not right. The silence deafening, scrubbing timelines, deleting, no confessing. Nolan Wells, copper spirit shining bright. Most High knows the truth in the pale moonlight. Family grieving, but they standing tall. Been crump on the case, demanding justice for y'all. Why you scrub your social media? Why? Oh, it's already lies. Just tell us what really happened to Nolan. How did he get in that water? Oh, Mississippi, stand up right now. Why the hell they so silent? If you know you didn't do it, and if you can prove it, just say it out loud. Oh, Nolan's Wells family, please excuse me. I know you're grieving, but good God, this don't make sense to me. Baby in the water, how he ended up there alone. Friends came back without him, stories changing on the phone. Independent autopsy coming, truth gon' rise. Toxicology, deleted messages, no more lies. Mississippi Delta ancestors watching close. We walk together, can't let another young king ghost. Them folks ain't kinfolk, hold yourself accountable. If it's foul play, speak now, make it audible. Peace be still in the storm, but justice first for Nolan. For the family, excuse my burst. Oh, Nolan, I'm so sorry. Your light still shines. My God bless you, may he protect you. Justice for your son, your baby. Something just not right. Oh, Mississippi, stand up right now. The Most High sees it all, no hiding in the dark. Hell no, we demanding answers while you scrub your social media. Oh, it's already live. Just tell us what really happened to Nolan. How did he get in that water? Oh, Mississippi, stand up right now. Why the hell they so silent? If you know you didn't do it, and if you can prove it, just say it out loud. Oh, Nolan, I'm so sorry. Justice for Nolan. We all we got, ancestors never left. Mississippi, stand up. Ooh, peace be still. Truth first, Nolan Wells, your story ain't over. Justice for Nolan.
All right, so hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, hello, Pearly, J Love the Queen, Greta. All right, let's get into it. Love Christy, Juju, Danielle. Okay, Astaroth. All right, Aquarius Rising is here. Candy Girl. Let's get it popping, Pearly. I see you. Okay, Buckhorse DC, Nessa G. All right, we the people. Reggie, Truth Brown. Thomas is here. Okay, Dangerous. All right, let's get this party started, Mr. Elevation. I see you, beloved. Okay, Glenn is here. Shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. And a big shout out to my moderators because you all know they be putting in work. I see you, Dinah. Okay, Nubia Rod, then I say you. All right. So that all being said, hey, fitting well. Let's have a brief word from my sponsor, 12 Tribes, and then we can get this party started. Lights up, everyone. Ray Williams, where have you been? Chris B is in the virtual building. All right. Okay, here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right. So with that all being said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find her products at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil. Okay, so earlier in the broadcast that I did previously, I don't remember. It seems like I forgot to play Governor Tate Reeves, what he had to say. Okay, and he just seems like he's full of BS to me. So we're going to get into that. Okay, we're going to talk about what he had to say about it all. So everybody hit that like button. Now let's get it started. First of all, I want to go to what Christine Wansley, Nolan's mother, what she said on her post today. So let's go to that really quickly. Likes up, everyone get the likes up. It doesn't cost you a thing.
Hey, Boo Bears. I know you probably did not expect to see me, but I had to come on because I wanted to acknowledge all of your love, your support, your kindness that you guys have been showing me. I wanted to, answer each and every one of you, and I probably will at some point. I will at some point, but right now it's just, everything is so heavy. Everything is so heavy. Just been going through the motions. I'm a healthcare provider, so I talk about grief a lot. Now to be on the other side of this is, it's a lot. So I lost my mom a few years ago, and that was hard. This loss, this grief, this pain, it's different. It's insurmountable. And then it's like you get these flood of emotions all at different times, and grief is so multi-layered. 1 second I might be okay and I can talk about things and I can listen to his stories, and then the next minute I am falling apart and I feel like I can't breathe, and I feel like there is an elephant just sitting on my chest. But I know this is the process. I have a wonderful support system. I have my faith in God, which I've been leaning heavy into. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I see you. I love you. I'm thankful for all of you. And I'm so sorry that I hadn't been able to reply. I don't know exactly when again I'll post. For some reason, it does help. And I know if Nolan was here, he'd be like, Mom, just keep talking to the people, keep telling my story, keep telling your story. So that is going to be my plan. Again, thank you all so much. I love you, and I will talk to you later.
Okay, so what a sweet lady, in my opinion. And even through all of the grief that she's going through, clearly, she still has the wherewithal to come out and thank the people that have been showing support and sending well wishes. Now, here's what I want to say. There are some nefarious people, and some of them look like me, and I think they're so obtuse, okay? They're doing videos saying that this woman isn't grieving, saying that she doesn't have tears. She doesn't look like she's even bothered. That is so ridiculous. Okay, what an asinine thing to say, and only a fool, in my opinion, would think that, because this woman is going above and beyond, doing all that she can do to get justice. Now, if she didn't care, and if she wasn't grieving and hurt, okay, and if she wasn't bothered by what's happened, she would have just accepted what they told her. Oh, nothing to see here. There's no reason to suspect foul play. It looks like an accidental drowning. She would have just taken that and gone ahead. This woman has reached out to Ben Crump. She's going around on a press tour trying to draw more awareness to the story. Okay, at the end of the day, here's the thing. And it's so interesting because today someone pointed it out that this lady, Christine Wansley, looks a whole lot like Mamie Till Mobley, Emmett Till's mother. Now, I hadn't thought about that, but what I had thought about, and I was just talking to someone about this yesterday, is that when people are saying that she isn't grieving, I told you all before, you all know I told you this like a week ago, I said that she is being strong. This woman is trying to hold herself together. She's trying not to cry because she wants to get her words out. She wants to come across, intellectually, so she can tell everything and say what she's thinking and feeling or what's going on with the case, trying to be informative. And I told someone just yesterday that, you know what, people don't seem to realize, Mamie Till Mobley was the same way. We never saw her crying until the funeral. If you go look back of any footage of Mamie Till Mobley, and I'm going to show you some footage, okay? Because I like to bring receipts. When Mamie Till Mobley was talking about her son, Emmett, and what happened to him, you never saw her crying. She was being strong, but you don't think she was hurting? Of course she did. See, the black folk back then, they didn't say that she wasn't grieving, that she wasn't hurt, and that she didn't care about her son, because they had sense. Sadly, today, some of our people just don't. And that's just the fact of the matter. Now, I would hope that it's certainly no one in my chat among this congregation. But nonetheless, there are some of our people that are just so foolish and obtuse. And that's just what it is. Okay, so I'm going to pull up a clip or two of Mamie Till Mobley when she was, in fact, talking about her son. Okay? And let's just see if she was crying or if she was standing strong, just like Christine Wansley. These people do not know the strength of a mother. Sometimes you may be falling apart on the inside. Okay, every piece of your heart can be broken, but you have to have strength and to pull yourself together so you can get your child's story out there, hoping and praying that they can get justice. And I don't know, some people don't seem to understand that. Maybe these people that are saying these things don't have any. Okay, maybe they don't have any children, and so they can't understand how some people grieve differently and how some people are brave enough and strong enough to hold it together in public so they can get what they want to get out, and then silently, alone in the dark, they break down. Did anyone ever think of that? Well, clearly these people that are making these videos didn't.
The whole United States is mourning with me. And if the death of my son can mean something to the other unfortunate people all over the world, then for him to have died a hero would mean more to me than for him just to have died. The whole United States is.
Okay, and we know what happened to Emmett Till. You don't think that one was hurt? Of course she was. All right, but she stood there and held it all together. I don't know what's wrong with some of our people. Okay, some of us are just going to be left behind, sadly.
To the high officials that we have here today, and my greatest respects to you people that have come out here to see what we're talking about and see what we're doing and what we're trying to do. I think that you would like to hear perhaps what went on in my mind for the last 30 days. Well, I might not can tell you very clearly because I'm not sure myself. But to begin with, 30 days ago, I was very busy getting Emmett to go away on a trip that I thought would be the highlight of his 14 years. And I had taken every precaution to make it his nicest trip ever. And before his 2 weeks were up. At the end of the first week, I was supposed to have gone away myself, but on Tuesday of that week, I just got so tired until I couldn't go away. I had made every preparation to leave, but suddenly I just gave out. I didn't have any strength.
Now, I just wanted to show that to show and to prove how that woman was not shedding any tears either. Okay? She was not shedding any tears either. But I know she had to have been hurting. And she was so brave to allow them to see her son's face, though it was so grossly disfigured. Okay? So here are some of the similarities. Both her and Christine Woonsley's sons lost their lives in Mississippi. All right? And not only that, they look alike. Once in the chat, if you all see a resemblance between these two women, I find this very interesting. And let's not forget that Emmett Till's body was also thrown in a lake, tied to a cotton gin after they murdered him. Yeah, they absolutely look alike. Okay, they absolutely look alike. Hold on, let me get this comment off the screen. All right. They absolutely do. And so I find this all very interesting. Now, with that all being said, let's go and see what this governor was talking about. And then we're going to get into how the judge is sitting up there telling, she didn't show the whole lie. See, this is why I'm glad she made a statement now, because, lady, we just caught you red-handed in a whole lie. Okay, did y'all notice that the judge lied? Did anyone happen to notice that? Okay, I'm going to show the receipts, and I want to see if you all can tell where the lie is. Okay, if you all can see where the lie is. But hold on, let's go to what this governor said. He's so full of BS as far as I'm concerned. Now everybody's coming out with something to say since Ben Crump's on the scene.
Tonight, we hear from the governor on the death investigation of Nolan Wells. Comes on the same day as parents and attorney met with leaders this morning. 16 WAPT's Carlos Garcia here with the latest on the case tonight. Carlos.
That's right. Well, today the family attorney said once the investigation into Nolan Wells' death is complete, it will be turned over to the DA. Governor Tate Reeves also speaking out about the case nearly 2 weeks after the teen's disappearance and eventual death. Nolan Wells was last seen on July 4th after being out with friends. His body found 2 days later in the water at Horn Island. Family and friends have spoken out about the kind of person that Wells was and say they're still searching for answers. When asked about the tragic incident, here's what the governor had to say.
I don't know all of the facts surrounding the case. I have yet to see a fact or a piece of evidence that suggests any foul play. But if there is, I feel confident that the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office, the members at the Department of Public Safety that deal with these crimes, if there had been one, they will find it and they will do what is necessary.
During a news conference with the family attorney, Ben Crump, we learned that Wells's parents and attorneys met with the Jackson County DA. They said the case will be turned over to a grand jury. They also said they will do a joint search of Wells's phone, which was not with him at the time of his death. And Crump called the meeting with the DA respectful, but said questions still remain tonight.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube. And
Okay, first of all, if he doesn't know the facts and all of that, what was the purpose of him coming out? Okay, I find that all interesting, but hold on. I want to go to a clip where he said a little bit more than that. This is the clip I want to go to. Let's get to this because he said a little bit more. It wasn't much, but it was something that I picked up on that he said. Let's go back to it. And also 27 Didi says, Queen, wow, that wasn't in the documentary about Emmett at the bottom of the lake. Oh, you know, I saw a documentary, The Untold Story of Emmett Till. I can't remember if they mentioned it in that one. But yeah, my mother told me that when I was like 13 or 14 when she was telling me the story. Yeah, and then I further read about it. His body was tied to a cotton gin and thrown in a lake. Sure was.
The Sean Tyndall, the commissioner of the Department of Public Safety, has been in contact with those individuals. Obviously, the autopsy was done by the state medical examiner's office. at the Department of Public Safety. I personally know Sheriff John Ledbetter from Jackson County very well. I have not personally spoken to him. I have full confidence that he is going to do his job. And what I will simply say is I don't know all of the details. I don't know all of the facts surrounding the case. I have yet to see a fact or a piece of evidence that suggests any foul play. But if there is, I feel confident that the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office, the members at the Department of Public Safety that deal with these crimes, if there had been one, they will find it and they will do what is necessary.
I almost forgot I was muted. I want you all to pay attention to something very significant. Did anyone notice something that he did or didn't do? Rich says, my grandfather was on the security detail for Mamie Till Mobley when she had to stay in Mound Bayou, Mississippi during the trial. He always said she was a strong, brave woman. Absolutely, beloved. And shout out to your granddad, okay? Yeah, exactly. So with that all being said, did anyone notice at all? There you go. Showed no remorse to the family. That dirty dog got up there and didn't even say, first of all, let me say condolences to the family of Nolan Wells. He didn't say anything to the family. He didn't even acknowledge them. So let me tell you why he got up there. Okay? Because I would have thought that would be the first thing. Okay? Maybe you're coming out to is your condolences, but no. He literally got up there just to try to back up Sheriff Ledbetter. And another thing, he's lying, in my opinion, when he said, I know Sheriff Ledbetter personally. I know him very well. I have not talked to him. Oh, please. So you mean to tell me, and since all this time has passed, it's been 2 weeks now, and you've not spoken to him? You've not spoken to him, but you just told us that you know him personally, that you know him very well. You have spoken to him, sir. Sit down somewhere. And here's the thing. He's trying to reiterate, or he's trying to basically, because we all know they've heard that nobody trusts Sheriff Ledbetter. Okay, we don't trust the process. We don't trust Mississippi law enforcement. Okay, we just don't trust the DA. We don't trust the medical examiner. We don't trust Judge Ashlee Cole, and we don't trust those thugs. So with that all being said, all he came out to do was to stand up and back up Sheriff Ledbetter, his friend, because it's a good old boys system down there, and that's what they do. The devils come out there and big up each other, and they defend one another and try to back each other up. That's what he did. He didn't come out to offer any sort of condolences for the family. That shows you right there he's racist, because if he were not, that would have been the first thing he would have done. Do you not think that if there had been a white child that he wouldn't have gotten up there and said something of condolences or some sort of empathy or empathetic message to the family? Okay, low down and dirty. Low down and dirty. But let's continue. Like, sub, everyone, please like and share. Now let's talk about how the judge has been caught in her nefarious lies. According to that GPS report, she's sat up here and lied. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it. GPS data, the GPS boat data has provided a credible timeline that refutes the false statement made by Judge Ashlee Cole, the stepmother of Warren Hudson, in an attempt to muddy the waters about what happened to Nolan Wells. Okay, the facts matter and the timeline matters and the evidence speaks for itself. Okay, let's get into where she lied at, because you all should already know by now. You all should already know by now. And if you all remember, I told you all this morning that also what I found interesting was the fact that, hold on, is this what I'm looking for? Yeah, this is it right here. This is it right here. So what I also found interesting this morning when we listened to the GPS information, so they said that the boat traveled to the residence of the owners. But what happened to the boat being scrubbed clean at Judge Ashlee Cole's house at 3 a.m. in the morning? Where is that tidbit of information? Was that not true? Did someone not report that to the police? Did someone not see them washing and scrubbing that boat? I have questions. Okay, and then when the governor gets up there and says, I don't see any evidence of foul play. I haven't seen all the facts. Well, here's the thing. If you haven't seen all the facts, then maybe you just need to sit down somewhere. What was your point for coming out other than to try to big up Sheriff Ledbetter? Okay. He hasn't seen the facts, but from what he can see, it doesn't seem like there's any foul play. They keep on saying that. They're trying to psychologically program that into everyone's mind so we too can say, well, we don't see any evidence of foul play either. You see, what they're doing is the evidence, they're trying to make the evidence fit what's already been said. Okay, that's just my opinion. And I find it interesting also. Mr. Elevation said exactly, yeah, I think that's exactly what they're doing. Okay. But hold on, because I want to go to this. Okay, now let's take a look at the timeline. Okay, so I want you all to pay attention and put it in the chats where the lie is. Okay, 9:56 a.m. the boat leaves its original departure dock. 11:14 a.m. the boat arrives at Horn Island. 4:31 p.m. the boat leaves Horn Island and returns to the original departure dock. 5:52 the boat travels into Fort Bayou. 6:06 the boat returns to the dock. 7:19 the boat travels to the Fort Bayou boat launch from where it was presumably towed by a vehicle to a private residence. Now, specifically, Judge Ashlee Cole stated that the group, hold on, Beverly, thank you for your super sticker donation, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, listen to this. Specifically, Judge Ashlee Cole stated that the group departed Horn Island around 4:30 because the vessel was taken on water due to the malfunctioning bilge pump. A bilge pump is a device used to remove excess water that collects in the bottom of the boat. Okay, and then here's her statements where she said all of that. And so, quite frankly, I find it interesting because she said this was all around 4:30. How was this boat going back and forth and doing all of this stuff if it was already filling full of water, taking on water at 4:30? And then she said at 4:30, the judge did, that they departed the island around 4:30 because the vessel was taking on water. Okay? It was taking on water at 4:30. The boat travels into Fort Bayou. The boat returns to the dock, and then it's out again, travels to the Fort Bayou boat launch, okay, from where it was presumably towed by a vehicle to a private residence. So it was towed by a vehicle. Now pay attention. It was towed. Remember, I told you the devil is always in the details. So it was towed by a vehicle to a private residence. Now it says to a private residence, but they did specifically say to the residence of the owners, which would have been Wyatt's family, not Warren's. But they said it was being scrubbed at Warren's house, and I believe that's where it was. But here's the thing. So the boat was supposedly towed, and that phone call with them in distress, what time was that call made? Because according to the timeline, it seems as though the boat wasn't towed until after 7. It seems as though the boat wasn't towed until they made a second trip. Please pay attention. It's looking like the boat wasn't towed until they made that second trip to Fort Bayou. First of all, why did they make a second trip? And if the boat was taking on water at 4:30 and needed to be towed, like Judge Ashlee said, how was the boat doing all of this back and forth? And how did they get back to Fort Bayou a second time? And then the boat was towed. You see how she's lying somewhere? Okay, this all didn't happen at no 4:30. And why didn't she bother to mention that they went right back to Fort Bayou? Nobody said anything about that. Okay, nobody said anything about that. Micah says the GPS put the boat close to her house. I believe she lives close to the residence. The judge, close to the residence, the judge owned the boat. Wait a second. So the judge owned the boat? Hold on, let me look that up because they were saying that the boat was owned by Wyatt. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, here it is right here. Let me see here. Okay, The boat belongs to the family of one of the friends. They don't specify. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get more information. Let's see here. Wyatt or Warren. Okay, the boat Nolan Wells traveled on to Horn Island belonged to his friend Wyatt Pyron. Wyatt Pyron. Okay, it is reported that Wyatt Pyron is the reported owner of the boat. Witnesses and family accounts note that Wyatt operated the vessel, so he was the one steering the boat. Okay, it says he operated the vessel and was the one pleading with Nolan to get back on the boat before it departed the island due to a failing bilge pump. Now, Warren did not own the boat. Warren Hudson did not own the boat. He is the son of local Chancery Court Judge Ashlee Cole, who publicly confirmed that Warren was present at the trip and has since fully cooperated with the Jackson County Sheriff's Department. Early unconfirmed social media rumors suggested the boat was temporarily moved to Warren's residence after being taken from the water, though law enforcement has not publicly verified that claim. I find that very interesting because supposedly that information was given to the police. Okay, the Holloway says Wyatt is the stepson, not Warren. No, that's not true. No, her stepson is Wyatt Hudson, beloved. The stepson is Wyatt Hudson. Not, I'm sorry, Warren Hudson. The stepson of Judge Ashlee Cole is Warren Hudson, not Wyatt. Okay. Truth Brown says, me too, Queen. Why hide that fact? Exactly. Dante said, where is Katie? Yeah, that's a good question. Where is Katie? What is really going on here, honey? These people are telling lies, and I'm telling you right now, the cover-up is real. Now, I'm going to tell you what they're going to do. They're going to sit here and blame it on Javon and Tristan. That's what's going to happen. When they take in the information for somebody to be indicted, if anybody gets indicted, that's what's going to be, in my opinion. Okay? That's what I think. Now, I want to go to former Judge Carlos Moore, the attorney, what he had to say about this DA, because clearly she's not that good at her job from what he said. Now, I'm not going to listen to this whole thing, but we're going to go to like the 9-minute mark. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, we need answers. We don't need any more of them playing games, painting fictitious narratives, saying lies and BS to muddy the waters. Have you all heard some of the lies they told? Let me tell you all something someone sent me yesterday, and I didn't even report it because I knew it was all lies and BS, and the person that sent it to me knew it was lies and BS too. They actually sent it to me just to show how desperate they are to muddy the waters. Okay, hold on. I mean, just making up all kinds of nefariousness. See what they want to do, and this is how you know that we must be on the right track. Okay, we must be on the right track. Because why are they so desperately trying to change the narrative and putting out these lies, hoping that we'll fall for the BS, and then we'll start repeating those lies so that it'll discredit anything plausible that actually did happen. It'll discount any of that. Okay? Hold on. Where is that darn? I can't remember who sent it to me or what they had it under. I'm going to have to look for it. But definitely trying to muddy the waters. Hold on. Basically, they were talking about in the post, whoever posted it said that they would call him the N-word, they would bully him and all this old crazy stuff. And I'm like, sit down somewhere. Where'd y'all get that from? Just making up lies. But let's continue. Okay, I'm going to fast forward this to like the 9-minute mark to start.
Sandwich. With all that evidence, after someone was killed in 2019, and I happened to represent the family at that time as a partner in the Cochran firm, and I met with her as well as the family, similar to what happened today, so I've been through that process with her. She will offer you sweet tea. She's a nice, good Southern belle, but can she get you justice? We're not going to sleep on you, Angel, excuse me. We're not going to sleep on you. This time, we expect you to present the evidence in a manner like you present it in other situations that you can secure an indictment or indictments. I do know you don't have to be indicted for anything to be arrested. All of this evidence is out there now. It should have been presented to a judge by now. Some of it for probable cause to make some arrest. Some of it to get the search warrants. I am not about any dilatory tactics. You're not going to punt the ball and put it on the grand jury. Certain folks need to be arrested now. If there's so much evidence, evidently there's enough evidence for the FBI to now be involved. Evidently there's enough evidence now for the DA to announce that she's going to present things to the grand jury. There's nothing to present to a grand jury if there's an accidental drowning. An accidental drowning under no suspicious circumstances would not require a presentation to a grand jury, and the DA could make that call herself. So evidently, there's something not clean in the milk. There's something not clean in the milk, and they know it. But yet and still, because of privilege or whatever, there has been no arrest, and we are day 11 post July the 4th, when Nolan Wells was first reported missing. Now, I'm the people's judge, and I shoot it to you straight with no chaser. That is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. You think we're going to sing your praises because you put on a dog and pony show. You can say the right thing, you can be courteous, but the Mississippi I know, the Jackson County I know, they will smile in your face and serve you 2 glasses of sweet tea and still stab you in the back. I can talk about them because that's where I'm from. And you can see why I have no plans to return to live there. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm not going to play nice. I told you, I know these folks, and I know how they operate. Don't let their kindness, don't let them kill you with kindness. We are going to keep our feet on their necks.
Okay.
We're going to keep our feet on their necks. We're going to keep applying pressure, because this is what pressure brings results. Pressure bursts pipes.
Okay, now let's go to what. Oh, hold on. Let's go back because he's talking about the FBI. Here's the thing. I don't trust the FBI either. Okay, I don't trust the FBI in this kind of situation, especially not Trump's FBI with silly small change Patel running the show.
We know that they work under a Justice Department now that leaves a lot to be desired. It's now run by an acting attorney general that used to be Trump's personal lawyer. I believe he was up for confirmation today. I hadn't had time to decipher if he's been confirmed or not. So I would hope, back in the day, the FBI was not politicized. They did their jobs as professionals, regardless of what party was in power in the White House. I would hope that that's the case in this instance. But I'm continuing to watch and pray.
Okay, now let's go to this clip from Willie D. Because Willie D had this defense attorney on there, and I want you all to pay attention. This defense attorney, okay, he was clearly trying to just act like these kids didn't do anything. Let's just go strictly by the. Now, I find it interesting because here's what these MAGA people like to do. When there is something going on, an ongoing investigation to where their people are the culprits or accused culprits or whatever, they like to act as though they want to go along with everything the police are saying. Let's not talk about anybody's speculation, no one's opinions, or what it might look like. Let's just go by the facts. That's what they always want to do until the shoe is on the other foot. You see, okay, when the shoe is on the other foot, now they have all the speculation. Now they have all of the opinions, and the facts don't matter. See, that's what the devils do. I want y'all to pay attention. Mr. Elevation just gifted the channel 5 memberships. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. That is so kind and considerate. Now, everyone, please shout out Mr. Elevation for being so generous. Okay, thank you, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, this is what they do. So we're going to go to this clip of Willie D. He had this man on his show, and the man was just getting on my nerves. Okay, he was just getting on my nerves, and I read the comments to see if he was getting on anyone else's, and clearly he was. Because he was acting like they didn't do anything. Okay, I'm going to fast forward to I think it was around the 36-minute mark. I'm just going to go to 32 minutes. Okay, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to use an overlay. Vita said, and where is Nancy Disgrace? Okay, that's a good question. She hasn't been reporting on it because I don't really watch her like that. She looks too much like a wicked witch for me.
The Worsley family over something too, because
hold on. Let me tell you something about people like this guy here. What they do is when you're telling them your theories or your thoughts or opinions or whatever, they'll sit there and smile and nod like they're in agreement with you, but they're not agreeing with anything you're saying. Because if anything you're saying or you're thinking is going against the people that they're trying to defend and protect, they'll just sit there and act like, oh yeah, I'm so friendly. Oh yeah. I'm not racist or whatever. And then they'll start saying things to try to debunk what you said. Okay, this is what they always do. Okay, please pay attention.
They've been doing all the damn investigating. The mother tracked the phone.
Hold on, I'm going to roll it back some.
Family to enjoy life, and if about that, the things that are objective, the things that you don't need testimony on, that they, audio speaks for itself, video speaks for itself. You know, we analyze these videos. The video doesn't care about our feelings. It just shows what it shows, and we react to it. This data will tell us what it tells us. Where's that? Where did the boat go? Things related more to science and objectivity. That's what I want. I want to hear more is being done. That's a red flag.
Going back to the DNA on the boat, allegedly that boat was wiped that night. It was wiped before the Nolan's body was discovered. Now, we do know this for a fact. Several of Nolan's friends deleted their social media accounts. What's legal significance does that have?
Yeah. So first to the point of the boat being wiped, I don't want to give a CSI lesson here. I don't want to tell people how to be better at covering up evidence, but DNA is very tricky. Blood evidence is very tricky. It's not as easy as I wiped it and I can't see it. It's as easy as black lights, but it's as complicated as the DNA on a molecular level.
Hold on. Let me go to this comment because distinctly Lindry says he's a defense attorney. Of course, he looks at things differently. He was logical. No, he wasn't logical, and I'm going to prove it. And here's the thing. There's other defense attorneys and other attorneys who've looked at it, like the one we just listened to, Carlos Moore, and it wasn't logical to him, and he doesn't seem to agree with this man's take, okay? So, no, he wasn't logical, and I'm going to show that in just a moment. Let's continue.
It stays. I'm not going to give away what I've seen done to more successfully get rid of evidence, right? But wiping it down typically is not enough. I'll leave that at that. And exactly. I'm sorry, what was the second question, the second point?
Well, I was saying, what legal significance does it have?
Yes. So the significance goes to the motive, the reason, right? What I've read, what I've heard, and I will say I've seen in other cases here is there have been statements by the people who have deleted their accounts that it was a consequence of them getting death threats. When you're in the media, when our names are here, everyone feels they can reach out and say hello. I get all kinds of phone calls, text messages. Some are encouraging, some are less than thrilled.
If they're receiving death threats, because I don't believe it, how in the hell are they receiving death threats? How are people getting in touch with them when they cut off their social media? They cut off their social media. So anyone threatening them would have to have their private information, right? So how's anyone getting in touch with them? And who are these people that are threatening them? Because they're trying to imply that Black people are threatening them, because it would have to be Black people that they're talking about. And we don't do that. That's what they do. They're the ones that threaten people, calling your house, doxing you, showing up and all of that, like a whole lynch mob. These are the things they do. That's not what we do ever. Okay, so they can miss us with it. They're trying to play the victim. And let me just tell you all something. If you don't know about Darvo, we're going to get into that. Okay, we're going to get into that, but let's continue.
With what I do online, and people feel like they can just say what they want to say to you. I can tell you in my profession, death threats are a thing, and these are people who up until now were living private life. You and I, we put ourselves out there, right? We were in the public domain, but these people were living private lives. Their social media was for their friends and family to enjoy life, and if you believe why they did it, again, if you believe that. What they've said is they took it down because they were just getting so literal death threats, literal.
Okay, so here's the thing. When did they get these death threats? Okay, because Nolan was reported missing July the 5th. They took down their social medias July the 5th and lawyered up because Nolan's body was found Monday morning on the 6th. Now, didn't they do all of that before Nolan's body was found? Because remember, they uploaded that alleged pool picture that they claimed wasn't from July the 4th. They said it was from June the 27th. They uploaded that, Evan or whoever uploaded it on the 5th. And then took it down and then took down the social media. So I do believe that was done on the 5th. Even if it was done on the 6th, here's the thing. Who is sending them threats and how? When did you have time to get threats? Okay, please pay attention. When did they get time to have people threatening them? Let me tell y'all what this is. This is nothing but Darvo, like this guy said on, I think I showed you all a video. What they do in the cases like this, or where someone's trying to paint a narrative or whatever, control a narrative, or they've done something nefarious or accused of doing something nefarious, it's called Darvo. You see, that's where you deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. So you reverse the victim as the offender. So they already started blaming Nolan. He wanted to stay on the island. He was wanting to go talk to Katie. I don't believe that. His father said he consistently had taught him that you don't ever leave the group that you're with. You leave the group, you come back with the group. I don't believe that. Okay, that's for number one. Deny. Yes, they already started denying. Attack. Now they're trying to blame it on Javon and Tristan. Okay, and now they're reversing the order of the victims, of the victim and the offender. So that's what they're doing. And this guy right here is a classic case of what they all do. Nobody's going to sit here and make me think that he was being logical. He was being biased, because he's saying the same things that the rest of them are saying, and they're not even defense attorneys. So it doesn't have anything to do with him being an attorney as to why he's saying what he's saying. He's on code with them. Okay, please pay attention, because when Willie D asked him the specific question that I was waiting to hear how he was going to answer, when Willie D asked him why would they have kept Nolan's phone, I want you to hear what he said, because it made absolutely no sense. And Willie D didn't even seem to catch it, but I sure
well, just the negativity, people reaching out and threatening harm. And if that is the case, that is a legitimate reason to want to step back. Now, the question becomes, before they did that, was there anything that could have raised a red flag? I don't know what efforts were made either by law enforcement or Mr. Crump's third-party independent investigation to screenshot that stuff. And there are ways to contact Meta, which is Facebook, Instagram now, and YouTube, and try to, it's like our phones. When we delete it on the outside, we think it's gone. Many of these smartphones now, they keep everything. Just because you and I hit the delete button, there are ways to go in. It's in the core memory. A lot of stuff is still there. So if you obtain the devices that the screenshots were on, or you write to the there are ways to salvage.
There's my email, beloved. If you have some information, please go ahead and send it. There's my email right there on the screen.
Salvage what was there. So again, I try to be open as to why they did it. You know, these are people that up until now, I don't know the students. I don't know if they had criminal histories or not, if they had other unsavory comments on their media or not. You know, that's always a possibility. You know, I did not grow up in this digital age, so it's emotionally charged. It's hard for anyone to get that on a day-to-day. So again, I try to pace myself in judging why a civilian who did not actually be part of this, who just happened to be an 18-year-old at a party, one of these students, and you may want to touch on this, that was there, his mother is a judge, right? And now she was getting scrutiny. And now that's impacting her ability to be a judge. You know, now she's getting this.
Now pay attention to how he's trying to make the judge a victim. Okay, you may want to talk about this. And one of the students, his mother. Okay, pay attention to that. And then he's already deemed them as innocent. If you notice, he said, you know, you could just be an 18-year-old and you just happen to be there. You didn't have anything to do with it. We'll decide if he had anything to do with it. Okay, don't sit here and try to paint narratives.
You know, she's not on the case. Questions will be raised as to the fact that a witness's mother is in the judiciary, and did she have any play? Because there is evidence that that son made an initial call when Nolan's whereabouts were at the very least unknown, and maybe more, right? He called his mom. His mom reported to law enforcement. His mom's an attorney. By judge, he's an attorney, right? And I know what I would do for my son or daughter if my child was being looked at, right or wrong. It's not about guilt or innocence. It's about knowing the law, knowing what our rights are. We always tell other people as an accused, you know, a defendant is an accused. You know, I'm still innocent under the law. And everyone has a right not to talk to law enforcement. We talk about this a lot on the other side of things. You don't have to talk to them. If you're innocent, don't talk to them. They're not there for your innocence. They're there to lock you into a story, right? And as an attorney, I would always tell you, anyone, don't talk to police. Talk to me. Let me talk to police, right? So you're seeing a lot of people circle the wagons. Maybe they got some legal advice on that, right? I can say as an attorney, that's the.
Okay, first of all, he just made it look even more suspicious for me, saying that one of them called their mom. He's basically talking about Warren, clearly said that he called his mom. Okay, yeah, he did call his mom to get him out of the trouble he was in, to tell them what to do. Because that's the only reason, if you thought your friend was missing, that you would call your mom, because usually you would call that friend's mom first to make sure that they were in fact missing. Call the friend's mom to see if they've talked to him and see if he's at home maybe before you call your mom and act like he's missing. So please miss me with it, sir. He's not logical. He's not making any sense. But let's
advice I would give. Right. And so you may feel they should be talking, that they're hiding. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. But innocent people have the same rights as guilty people, and we don't know which is which. So there are questions.
Yeah, innocent people do have the same rights as guilty people, but innocent people should not be moving like guilty people move. Okay, guilty people should be doing or innocent people should be doing the opposite of what guilty people do. Please make that make sense.
There with that.
Well, the judge injected herself in this case publicly. When she made that public statement, she put herself in the direct line of fire.
Now, I want you to see how this, I don't even want to call him what I'm thinking, but look how he's sitting up here smiling in agreement and nodding his head like he's agreeing with Willie D. He literally just sat here himself and talked about the judge, and he didn't mention how the judge inserted herself into the situation and came out making public statements in order to do damage control, in my opinion. He didn't say anything about that. He made her the victim. And now she's been scrutinized, and, you know, she can't do her job as a judge. That's what he's doing. Nessa G said his smirk smirk is so telling. Yes. Okay, because he's very disingenuous. He's nodding and smiling as if in agreement so that Willie D doesn't catch on to that he really is being so biased. Okay, but Willie D knows what he's doing. That's why he comes back with this comment.
So she ain't getting no break from me as far as like people scrutinizing her, because she put herself out there like that. Her son was involved in some type of way. At the very least, he's associated with the case. He was with Nolan prior to Nolan's death. Now, I'm gonna tell you the way that I'm built. Man, if my friend is hanging out with me and ends up dead, I'm speaking on it. Law enforcement's just gonna have to come do whatever the hell they got to do, because I'm not killing my friend. So they're gonna have to just do whatever the hell they got to do. I'm not running and hiding, man. I'm not gonna delete my social media. I ain't scared of these motherfuckers, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna delete my social media and hide. I'm finna jump on there, and I ain't saying I'm gonna go back and forth with people. I ain't saying I'm gonna do all of that, but at the very least, I am going to say R.I.P. Nolan Wells, my dog. Post a picture of my partner. Say what the hell you want to say. I can't control you uncivilized much. Say whatever the hell you want to say, but that's my dog, and I'm gonna speak on it. I'm letting you know that's my partner. I'm not even thinking about getting prosecuted and all this type of stuff, man. I'm doing what comes natural when a person is grieving, when a person has a loved one who has been lost. I'm grieving. I'm gonna salute my partner. I'm gonna pay tribute. And maybe people wouldn't be so suspicious if they didn't totally delete the accounts, if they would have just turned off the comments. Because they could have done that. They could have just turned their comments.
Or private them.
Or made them private. So that makes me think they have something to hide. And then furthermore, what do you think about the fact that the friends held on to Nolan's phone and his car keys? And
now I want you all to peep what he says when Willie D asked him, what does he think about them holding on to the phone and the car keys? Okay, this is very telling.
Did not give them to the parents voluntarily. The parents had to go and hunt them down to retrieve those keys and his cell phone.
So before I come to that, if you could refresh my recollection, the family ultimately got it back, not directly from the friends, but through law enforcement efforts. No, they got it from the friends?
First of all, law enforcement ain't had no efforts. The family been doing all the work. The family been doing all in.
Now, see how he just lied right there? This is what the devils do. He tried to slide in that lie. This is what they do. Like I told you, they come into TikTok lives doing it all the time. They come in there spreading misinformation, trying to throw us off, trying to debunk what we're saying with lies, and they have no facts. And if you're not on your toes and you don't know that what they're saying is a lie, then you may fall for it. But Willie D knows that's all BS. Now, he literally just tried to paint the narrative that the friends had given the phones to law enforcement. He told Willie D, from what I recall, okay, the law enforcement, they didn't get the phones directly from the friends. They got it from law enforcement. No, he knows that's not what happened. Nobody ever said that. So where'd he get it from? Oh yeah, he made it up. That's what the devils do. Now, Essential Oil Queen says, is this guy an op? They are playing with us like we're children. Disgusting. Yes, he's the op, beloved. He's the op. Okay, I don't know why Willie D brought him on here. Maybe Willie D thought he was going to be objective and not biased, but he's clearly biased. He's clearly biased. He's trying to defend these people. Okay, he's trying to act like there's nothing to see here, folks. Why are y'all suspicious? The evidence says this, this, and this. Now, continue to listen to what he says about that phone. Okay, and Essential Oil Queen, thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings.
Investigating. Hell, they need to get a family a damn law enforcement check at the end of the month. Whenever they get paid, they need to make sure they shoot the Wells, the Worsley family over something too, because they've been doing all the damn investigating. The mother tracked the phone, the daddy tracked the keys. The mother tracked down the phone. and got the phone from one of the friends. And then the father went to the house of another friend who was actually sleeping like a baby, I think, when after he got the news that his friend was missing, he sleep.
And you know why he was asleep? Because like the police always say, if they catch someone and accuse them of something and they put them in the cell and they come back and that person's asleep, that's how you know they're guilty. Because an innocent person would be wide awake pacing the floors, wondering how the hell they got here. Okay, so he was sleeping like a baby. That's right. The dad said it. Hair all over his head. You're not even the least bit concerned. None of them wanted to go out there and help search for their friends. No one wanted to post condolences. No one reached out to the mother to say that they're sorry for what happened and to offer up the parents any information, even if they didn't want to speak to the police, as he says, because they could have been painted as being guilty or whatever. The police could have said whatever. Why didn't they go to Nolan's mom and at least tell her, this is what happened. This is the last I remember. Why didn't they do that? Why didn't the judge, Ashlee Cole, who told us days ago in a statement that she would be willing to talk to Ben Crump and Nolan's family, but she has not done that yet? Told you all when she said it, she was full of BS, and that she's just trying to make it seem as though she wants to cooperate. And none of these people have been talking to the police or cooperating with the police until Ben Crump got involved. None of them. They just lawyered up and shut down social media, and that was the end of it. So they thought, okay, now listen to what he says about the phone, because again, with the excuses.
So, look, man, I don't know how these people are set up. I don't know how their brains are set up. I don't know how their hearts are set up. I don't know what type of energy they got.
Oh, and one more thing I want to say before I forget. Another thing is this guy has been sitting here talking with Willie D. He knows every detail of the investigation. He knows every detail of what has been said about the case. But all of a sudden, when Willie D starts asking him something he doesn't want to answer about that phone and the keys and why they were here and not there, then all of a sudden, he seems to not know the information. Well, from what I recall, they said that it was picked up from law enforcement. That's what they all do. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I told you all this days ago. This is what they all do. The MAGA millions who don't want to, say that these people could possibly have done something nefarious. But this is what they do. They all of a sudden have selective amnesia. Now they don't know things for sure. Oh, from what I recall, or I thought, but you were just so sure about everything else you said. But as soon as we start asking them to prove things or asking them questions they don't want to answer because they can't give a logical explanation without making the other people look the least bit suspicious, then they try to act like they don't remember. Okay, selective amnesia is what I call it.
But if I got a friend that go missing, man, it's gonna be hard for me to get some sleep, especially the first day that I heard that he was missing. That's gonna be hard for me to get some sleep. So there's a lot of inconsistencies and when you look at the fact that they held on to those keys and that phone, if it's my friend, I got the phone, I got the keys. First thing I'm gonna do is call mama. I'm gonna call daddy. Hey, I got his key. Here you go. I got it. Here you go. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I think the answer could come from the question I had earlier, which was, we know at least one attorney, the judge, the mom, was involved. How much did these children get spoken to or legally advised? Because I hear what you're saying as a friend, right? I have clients that are passionate like you for their friends all the time. And sometimes what you feel is right morally, right, will go against what I advise for you legally, because it's not about, I don't want what's right for Nolan. If you were my client, I need what's best for Willie, right? Even if Willie feels it's not fair, I need to look out for your interests. And if you want to say Nolan was my kid, right? That's my boy, and RIP, great. I don't want you. You're paying me to protect you. Let me protect you. Blame me. Blame the lawyer. My lawyer. It's Willie G. You got how many million followers, right? Why are you saying something? My lawyer will yell at me if I talk anything about it. My lawyers told me I'm not allowed to talk about it, right? And that's his legal advice, and that's why he does what he does. I will one day. I've been instructed. My lawyer's gonna be so mad at me if I talk about it. He's gonna chew my ear off. That's what I tell clients. It's not about, I'm here for you. I'm not against Nolan. I got young kids. It's tragic. Nolan, 18 years old, in college. This guy had his whole life ahead of him. He was in football. This kid was going to do big things. Like, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine. These cases like this hurt me.
Now he's trying to give a false sense of empathy. He doesn't have any empathy. It was so flat when he just said that. It hurts me. There was no passion behind it, okay? It was so disingenuous. He's just saying this because he knows that Willie D is on to his BS, okay? Please pay attention. Now he's trying to act empathetic as if he cares about Nolan. Sit down
as
somewhere.
an attorney, I'm telling you, I will give you a legal reason why, if any of those children were my clients, I will tell them, you don't touch that phone. I do not want your fingerprints to be the last ones on that phone. Because where does that put you? The last one to touch Nolan's phone. And that puts you one step closer to being the last one with Nolan.
I want you all to pay attention to what he just said. Tell me how that makes any sense. So he's saying that the reason they didn't take the phone to the mom is because if he were the defense attorney, he would have told them not to touch the phone. So your fingerprints aren't the last ones on the phone. First of all, that is BS. Okay, their fingerprints were already on the damn phone. How do we know that? Because the phone was supposedly left on Wyatt's boat. So if the phone was left on Wyatt's boat, and when they got the phone, okay, it was no longer in the boat. So somebody had already touched it. So that's not an excuse as to why they didn't fork over that phone to Nolan's mom. Okay, and who's even thinking like that when their friend is missing and found dead? Who's sitting up there thinking, okay, I'm not going to turn in the phone because I don't want my fingerprints on it, or their attorney's going to tell them not to turn in the phone because your fingerprints are on it? Well, if that's the case, put on a pair of gloves. Okay, you don't have to touch it. Then if that's the case, leave it on the boat where Nolan supposedly left it. Call his mom and say, listen, my lawyer told me not to touch the phone because he didn't want my fingerprints on it, but Nolan's phone is here on the boat, and let her come and get it. They didn't do that. She had to track it. So what he said is not logical. It makes no sense. Okay, it makes no sense. He's trying to cover
whether you did something or not. I don't want your after the fact involvement in evidence. The phone's evidence. I think we all just it's an approve, disprove something. I don't want any more people involved in it than they already were up to the point it happened. We've discussed, it's been said, the family believes there could be a cover-up. Well, what's one of the best ways to do a cover-up? You take that phone and you do something with it, right? If I'm the attorney for any of the kids, I'm saying, I am telling you, don't do anything. Don't touch anything. That's for law. You're not a cop. That's for law enforcement. If you want to tell them the phone is over there on top of the Xbox. I read Nolan was believed to have left it in the house.
The keys were on the top of the Xbox.
Knock, knock. Hi there.
And they were both, because the question was, why was he with them near the water? We can get into that. But I am telling my clients, if you want to tell them keys are over there and the phone's over there, great. Don't touch it. Think of it like a dead body.
Listen to this analogy.
If you're walking down the street, you see a dead body. If you ask me, what do I do? You don't touch that body, Willie. Please call the police. Tell them where the body is. I don't want your fingerprints to be the last ones on that thing.
Well, you ain't got to tell me about that part.
But it's the same, if we change, if we change what it is, I understand that. Listen, I don't fault the family at all.
Now, here's the thing. Willie D should have asked him, why was the phone scrubbed clean? Why wasn't there anything on the phone? And why did it take them so long to bring the phone out there to Tashima when she went to pick it up? Because Tashima said they were taking so long, she was thinking, well, darn, did they have to go to Horn Island to get the phone? Because it took at least 15 minutes. Okay, if the phone's in your house and you just took it in there because you took it out of your truck, because I think they said it was in the truck or something, okay, after being taken off the boat. But nonetheless, the phone was in the house. Why did it take so long to go and get it? Likely because they didn't know that she was coming to get it, and then they tried to quickly scrub whatever they could off of it, is my opinion. But Willie should have asked him that, because I wonder what he would have said then. Okay? I wonder what he would have said then. Now, he's sitting there saying what he would have told them, but what about, let's talk about why they did what they did. See, that's what he didn't answer. Pay attention to the slick way people like him will deflect and gaslight you. Willie asked him, why didn't they give the phone to the mother? Now he's sitting there talking about what he would tell his clients, but that's not answering the question as to why they didn't give that phone to the mother. Is he trying to imply that maybe their lawyer told him the same thing or told them the same thing that he's saying? Because even if that's true, it still doesn't make any sense. Okay, because they'd already touched the phone by then. That's just a fact. All right. And if you didn't do anything and you're not guilty, and there's other people that were with you who could all be witnesses, there's no way in the hell that you would be sitting up there concerned, or that your lawyer should even be concerned, that you could get in trouble or be blamed for anything. Okay. The lies and the BS. I'm just so sick of it.
I don't ever want to be in their shoes, but I think they got counsel. If they got, you don't involve yourself. You can share what you know, share where things are.
But they didn't do that. He says you don't involve yourself. You can share what you know, share where things are, but they didn't do that. They didn't share what they knew. They didn't share what they had or any of those things. Okay? It had to be pried out of them by the mother doing the research herself. And like Willie D said, the police weren't really investigating anything. The Wansley's were doing the investigation themselves. The father went out on a boat with the coach looking for his son. Why didn't those little devils who claim to have been Nolan's friends, why didn't they ask, does anyone need our help? I mean, they surely knew he was missing, because isn't that why they called the Coast Guard? Isn't that why they also called the Cajun Navy and put them in touch with Nolan's mother? Isn't that why they called Nolan's mother at 11:07 at night, because they knew he was missing? And I find that all very interesting. Okay, I find that all very interesting, because why did they think that something had been done to Nolan to the point where they would need to call the Coast Guard and the Cajun Navy? Why would they think that he was possibly out there on the island still in the water or something? Why would that be the first thing they thought if they say that they left him and he was supposed to catch a ride, and the last they saw him, he was with Katie? Why wouldn't they have thought that maybe he's with Katie? Why didn't they tell his mom, say, listen, we haven't talked to Nolan. Have you talked to him? Well, the last time we saw him, he was with Katie. I don't know her number because Nolan just met her. But they didn't do that. They called the Coast Guard and the Cajun Navy like they knew that Nolan was out there in that water. That's what it looked like they knew he was out there in that water. And how did they know that? How did they know that? Okay, please make it all make sense. But let's continue. And why did the judge lie about the timeline of the boat taking on water and the boat being towed? Why didn't she say anything about them going back a second time to Fort Bayou for the boat launch? Why didn't she say anything about that when she gave her statements? Okay. It's the little details that matter, that poke holes in their story.
Leave it to law enforcement. Because now, go ahead.
Yeah, the DA said that she was going to bring the case to the grand jury. Now, walk us through what that looks like, because a lot of people are under the impression that once it goes to a grand jury, that means they got a suspect. That means somebody going to jail, like somebody at least going to trial. So walk us through the process of a case being presented to the grand jury.
Let me tell you all something. This case they will probably not even be indicted because of the DA that they have, because of the police that are involved, Sheriff Ledbetter. I just think these people are all in cahoots. And the fact that they want to skip over the process, they want to skip the part where they issue warrants for their arrest. They want to skip that part. because they don't want to humiliate them. Then the governor comes out saying, I don't see any evidence of foul play, but I don't have all the facts. Well, if you don't have all the facts, maybe that's why you don't see any evidence of foul play, sir. So none of them have any suspicions. We're all just suspicious for no unfounded reason. I don't think the grand jury would even indict them, because you do know that, and remember that old saying that I always tell you all, that's a running joke among prosecutors, that you can even indict a ham sandwich. That means the prosecutors can get anyone indicted for anything when they really want to. When they really want to. Because the defense doesn't get to come in and enter any evidence, doesn't get to come in there and counsel their client, the defendant. They don't get to do any of that. Everything is up to the prosecutor. The prosecutor goes before the grand jury and presents their evidence. And they can show whatever evidence they want to, and they can also withhold whatever evidence they want to. So if they don't want these people to be prosecuted, which I clearly think they don't, who knows what sort of evidence they're going to show, or what narrative they're going to paint for the grand jury. Okay? Well, let's continue.
Great question. And this is where I think you could have very real concerns about race coming into play. And I'll get to that in a moment. This is where I think it becomes real. So not every state has a grand jury process. And some states have it in different forms. Florida does not. New York does. I've been practicing both.
Now look at how he's gaslighting and deflecting. We don't give a darn what states have grand juries and which ones don't. Willie D specifically asked him about the grand jury procedure in Mississippi, how he thinks that is going to play out. Now he wants to come giving us information that's not even relevant. Well, not every state has the grand jury process. Florida doesn't. Who gives a damn about that? Get to the point. But see, this is how they gaslight you. I want you to pay attention, because while they're doing this, they're coming up with what they're going to tell you that you might not want to hear in some cases, and then also trying to throw you off. So if they say something shiesty, you may not catch it, because they've already tried to switch your thinking, your thought process to something else by just throwing in extra words that to me are nothing more than word salad. Okay, what do we need to know about Florida? Just get to the point.
The prosecutor did many grand juries. A grand jury, you can think of it first like a jury panel. Usually it's up to about 18, 24 people. And they...
Again, did Willie D ask him what a grand jury is? No, he didn't. I think we all know what it is and how it's made up. He asked him what would the process look like.
Are sequestered. They can go home at night, but they are a private jury panel. And for usually 2 to 3 weeks, every day, they come to the state attorney's office, they sit in a room, and they wait for felony attorneys, to present cases to see if there's probable cause to go forward with a prosecution. Okay, it's not beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not. Does the state have a good faith base enough here, probable cause to bring this, to continue to indict this person or persons for this crime or crimes, and to go forward? Typically, defendants, suspects do not have access to the grand jury. It's strictly for the prosecutors, one side, to give evidence to members of your community, your peers, evidently, right? That's why I said the comment before. So your peers, your community, people you go to the store with, and they're going to decide if there's enough. Now, defendants can elect to testify in a grand jury, but they know nothing what goes on before after the fact. Okay. And depending on your viewpoint, when it's a grand jury, if the grand jury decides a no true bill, which is there's not enough evidence, the case dies right there, and the prosecutor, whatever you think of them, going to say, it wasn't my decision, it's not my fault, your community, your peers decided there wasn't enough. And if they decide there is enough, prosecutors say, it wasn't my decision. The community, a jury of your peers, has decided there is enough to indict you on these felony charges, and we are now going to proceed with charges against you. And so that's how. So what the grand jury will do is the prosecutor's office, the prosecutor will, over time, they don't have to do it in a day. They have the full panel length, so it could be several weeks, to present evidence. And then at the end, they'll ask the jury to vote in private by majority Does the state attorney's office have enough to proceed with this case? And they will vote yes or no. Okay. And if the prosecutor's office wants, their best chance for a true bill, which is to indict, is to present as much evidence as possible. And so we go back to getting the forensics done, getting the autopsy done, getting the analysis of the bone done, all this stuff, because the jury, the grand jury, can come back with questions. The prosecutor is limited in how he can answer it, he or she. They can't answer directly. They want to answer it with evidence, or to present another witness, or to say, you got to remember the testimony. But it's the jury panel that will decide if anyone or multiple get charged with certain crimes. And the prosecutor can say, we think it's premeditated murder, manslaughter, reckless manslaughter, boding vehicular death with recklessness. And the grand jury can pick any of the charges that are presented to them. That's where I think you're going to see, and we won't know, or we're not supposed to know, the makeup of the grand jury. So we don't know if it was all men, no women, all white, no black. We don't get to know that. It's really a random jury process. It's supposed to be random.
Yeah, you know what I don't like about this grand jury, which I call a clan jury, because it's typically white folks. These grand juries are typically white folks, and they get to decide who even ends up getting prosecuted and who don't. They can just say, hey, we don't want that case. Well, we're going to take that. We don't take that. We don't want that. And the prosecutor gets to only answer the questions. The defense attorney don't get to say nothing about it. And also, we don't get to know what evidence was presented to the grand jury. We're in the dark. The public is totally in the dark. And that's fundamentally flawed to me, man. That is something great. Like, who in the hell approved that? Who thought that was a good idea? That's a horrible idea. It's a horrible way to administer so-called justice. One other question, I got to ask you this. The grand jury, is the grand jury, can they request more evidence, or do they have to only consider the evidence presented?
So they can't outright say, we want more evidence. But let's say from the evidence provided, they'll come back with a question. And the best way to answer that question is to provide more evidence if it's available. So they can't just say, I want to see the autopsy record. They could say, what did the autopsy record show? And the prosecutor either say, it's a great question. We're not done yet. I'll see you tomorrow. Go get that, present it to them. Or they can say, ladies and gentlemen, you need to rely on the evidence that's been presented to you. So the jury can ask anything they want, but they don't get direct answers. And the prosecutor can't explain anything to them. They're going to say, look, all I can do is show you evidence, give you testimony, show you exhibits. You need to interpret that for yourself. I can give you the instruction in the law or what you're told how to interpret certain things, but I cannot explain it to you.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Paul Mary. Look, man, I appreciate you coming on the show. You have shed a lot of light on this case. And man, I'm probably going to have you back on there real soon, man, because this case it's got a lot of twists and turns to it. And I know that it's going to continue to be polarized. And so absolutely thank you for your
All he did did was come on there and gaslight, as far as I'm concerned, and say the same stuff that the rest of the MAGA millions have been saying. That's just what it is. And the MAGA millions want us to, just accept what they say and take that as facts, or like they know so much more than we do. But let's not forget, these are the same lying devils who were saying all of that stuff about the Carmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf situation. And now we see through Mike Howard's affidavit that everything we said is the truth. Okay, everything we said. Now I'm gonna tell you all something. These people are down there in clans. They got clansmen down there that do these rituals, initiation rituals because it was the 250th anniversary of the USA of America, and all of these things. They do clan rituals on July the 4th. I showed you all the receipts the other day. There's people saying that they have satanic cults down there, and of course they do, because the clan is a satanic cult. You don't think they do satanic things? Of course they do. But they want to register themselves as a Christian group. Please pay attention. But also, here's what I find interesting. In case you were wondering why so many Black people end up in these lakes dead around these people who don't look like us, at the end of the day, you all do know that sometimes these are absolutely initiations into certain things, and very often sacrifices. Now, I don't know if you all know this or not, but there are some sorts of rituals that they do where they actually try to conjure up demonic spirits from the water. Okay, demonic spirits that rise from water during rituals, they're often known or referred to as marine spirits or water demons. Okay, across various cultural and religious traditions, water is viewed as a portal to spiritual realms, and entities summoned from the depths during rituals are seen as symbols of chaos, temptation, and spiritual disorder. Okay, I'm sorry, say what? So they could miss me with it. At the end of the day, these people could have been doing anything for all we know. It could have been a clan ritual. It could have been a satanic ritual. It could have been anything. Who knows what they were up to? But I don't believe anything that any of them are saying. And I think collectively they're all lying and trying to cover it up. And I think the FBI is likely going to go down there to help them cover it up. That's just my opinion, because I don't trust anybody that works for Trump. Anyone that's a part of his administration, specifically not Small Change Patel. Okay? And then Horn Island, yeah, sounds devilish within itself, as far as I'm concerned. But let's continue, okay? Because I have a few more clips I want you all to see. This is a video posted by a lady who's from Mississippi, and she brings up Mamie Till.
One that's born and raised in Mississippi, from the Mississippi Delta to be exact, these two photos of Emmett Till's mother has been engraved in my head and all of my siblings and cousins' head since we were children. Both of my grandfathers were born in 1943, and they were in their right mind until they passed last year. They were 12 when Emmett Till was murdered. My grandfather on my mother's side attended his funeral in Chicago. My grandfather on my dad's side stayed outside of Greenwood, but they moved to Clarksdale after Emmett Till's murder. I have lived in multiple cities in Mississippi, or have either visited my cousins all over and friends and family, and I'm here to tell you that you still feel that shit here. Nolan Wells' case was never supposed to make it past Jackson, Mississippi, because the people from Mississippi, we was already hip to what was going on before it hit national news, but them folks wasn't expecting it. But what hurts the most, and if I see it, I know y'all can see it. Nolan Wells' mother looks very, very similar to Emmett Till's mother. And even though Emmett Till's story and Nolan Wells' story has their differences, at the root of it, the energy is still the same, as well as their tragic demise. I'm blessed enough to say that a lot of the Black history that I learned from Mississippi, I didn't have to learn it from a book. I heard it from the mouths of my family members. And sadly, nothing has changed. And some
She's right. Sadly, nothing has changed. Emmett Till's been dead like 71 years. 71 years he's been deceased. Okay? And we're still going through the same BS. Let's go to this next clip. All right, Beeble Singh says they do look alike. Yes, they absolutely do. I mean, it's a very uncanny resemblance. Okay? It is a very uncanny resemblance to me. They look like they could be sisters, both with the fluffy cheeks. Okay? I mean, make it all make sense. This is just really sad. I really hate this is going on at the end of the day, and these devils just might get away with it. I hope they don't.
Nolan Wells' story reminds me of Kwan Charles. Remember Kwan Charles? He went with his friends and ended up missing, and they didn't really report him missing. But it reminds me of like Emmett Till, Mississippi Burn.
And if you all remember, I reported on his story too. All of these stories that people keep bringing up, I reported on every last one of them. Bobby Kwan Charles in 2020, if you remember. And this was the one I think he was a sacrifice because he died on Halloween nights. Okay, when the white woman and her son went and picked him up from his home. And then when he was found dead days later, they said that he left their house walking. Why would you go and pick up someone's child and then have them walk home? Okay, why would you do that in the dark of night? I think she said he got upset about something and left. But why wouldn't you take him home to make sure he got there safely? Or if he did walk, why would you call to check on him and make sure he made it home safely? Because he didn't make it home, and she knew he didn't make it home. Because remember, one of the neighbors said they saw them cleaning out their car with bleach. Okay, the next day. Probably transported his body somewhere. And let's not forget how she went and rented a U-Haul and left the state. Do you all remember that? She fled.
And what happens when you disappear when you're not with your family, right? The woman, his mom, actually reminds me of Emmett Till's mother, which is interesting. It's like, what, did she live her life again just to lose the other son because you don't know where your son is? You're working. I don't know. It's a lot going on when you are not with your children. They are with their friends and things happen. Anyway, St. Bridget, Mama Bridget, the Wells is a tribute of St. Bridget. So just look out in the astral realm. The Nolan Wells story.
I don't understand why she was showing us those pictures. Maybe she just wanted to put something on the screen. But I'm confused about that. But at the end of the day, I just find it all very interesting. Okay, I find it all very interesting. Hold on for a second. Now, this is a video I want to show to let you all see how some people are spreading just total misinformation. I don't even know where they're getting it from. Are they just making this stuff up? Do they really believe it's true? But this lady is telling the story, and it's just all misinformation. Okay, I don't know where she got this from because the autopsy report has not even been released as of yet.
Davis report live right here on your side. So allegedly, the autopsy shows that Nolan was beaten on and urinated on. I knew it was something fishy about this case. It just don't sit right with me. He was the only one that drowned. His phone was in dry land. Something clicked in my head right then. But I'm going to tell you now, no justice, no motherfucking peace. And if I have to drive down there to report live, I will drive down there. Because when I say they need justice, why these people not in jail already? Like, what's going on? Why they not in jail? Mississippi is so crooked. That shit crooked anyway. They still be down there lynching people.
The last thing I think we need her to do, sitting up there with that bonnet on and doing the whole video, the last thing I think we need her to do is to go down there and report on any damn thing because she clearly is not one who reports the facts. Sitting there talking about the autopsy report said they urinated on him, they beat him. That's not what the autopsy report said, fool, because the autopsy report has not even come out yet. Now, is she telling these lies for clicks and views? The only place that stuff was ever stated was from that fake account with that person who said that they knew the mother and they didn't even know the mother. Okay? That's where that came from because that's what they said. Now, why is she sitting up here lying, talking about that's what the autopsy report says? See, we need to call out these liars. People out here trying to muddy the waters. I don't care if they're black, white, or other. At the end of the day, they need to be called out for purposely, maliciously giving false information. Now, she knows she's lying. She knows darn well she did not see any damn autopsy reports. Because that's what we're all waiting on, ma'am. Talking about update breaking news. All right, sitting up there with a whole bonnet on. Lady, I can't even take you seriously at this point. Okay? I'm sorry. I just don't take people like her seriously. I absolutely don't. Call me crazy.
Free, and you can go do that.
Now, this is what they told her. Post your proof that they lawyered up on Sunday morning. Go ahead. We will wait. They sound foolish because they did lawyer up Sunday morning. What the hell are you talking about? They lawyered up before his body was even recovered, which I thought was hella suspicious. Okay, I thought was hella suspicious because what do you need a lawyer for if you didn't do anything and if Nolan's just fine? How did they know anything was actually even wrong with Nolan that they needed to get a lawyer? I would have loved for that defense attorney on Willie D's show to have said that. Okay, Youngest Turnip says, Queen, do you think Crump is playing chess with the autopsy? Yes, absolutely, because they haven't released theirs and they did theirs first. Now they want to sit there and say they're waiting on the toxicology report. Okay, well, I hope Crump continues to wait too. Okay, because they want him to probably put his out there first so then they can change theirs to make it match. Because they already know the independent autopsy is likely going to tell us what we need, what we've been wanting to know. But let's continue.
Yourself, you can go do and prove it to yourself that Judge Ashlee, not only did they lawyer up immediately, but she also immediately had already deactivated and had them other thugs deactivate their social media pages everywhere. By the time she spoke her very first time on July the 9th, she said in her announcement that they had previously already deactivated all of their stuff. Why? She said that. Now, make it make sense, because nobody knew, once again, when Nolan's family and the search team went out there to Horns Island, no one anticipated that they were going to find Nolan dead. So there was no need to lawyer up. There was no need to deactivate your social media platforms. All of that, again, shows that y'all are hiding something. So if you want to do the work, you go do it yourself. I don't got to prove nothing to you. And save your 2 cents, because it means nothing. Is
That's right. Now they're sitting up there. See, this is what they do. This is what they do. And they try to sound so convincing so that you'll be convinced. Sitting there talking about they didn't lawyer up on the 5th. Yes, they did. They literally did. It was on the 5th. Now, I'm sorry, but his body had not even been recovered yet. So what the hell do you need a lawyer for? Okay. And let's go to this next clip. We're almost done, beloveds. This is all so shiesty. I don't believe anything any of them are saying.
So the audio of Nolan Wells' friends calling frantically, asking for help because their boat was sinking on their way home from Horn Island, frantically, because they're in distress. And you can tell by the way, you could tell by the voice in the friend's voice in that audio that they needed help. Their boat was sinking. And what they decided to do was they decided to let Nolan drown. That's why Nolan left that island with his friends, just like the girl, just like he told Katie he was going to do. And the reason why his phone messages, the messages in his phone are deleted, is because of the fact that he was texting Katie on that boat. He was texting Katie on that boat, which proves that he had left with his friends, which is why those messages were deleted. He made Snapchats of him leaving and on their way home, which is why the Snapchats were deleted. They all decided that Nolan's life was not worth it. And at that moment, he was going to be the one to drown and not them. Because they panicked because the boat was sinking. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to Nolan Wells. Nolan Wells left that island with his friends. It's time to start arresting. Now you have probable cause. You have probable cause now.
New audio shedding light on the moments before some of Nolan Wells' friends left Horn Island off the coast of Mississippi. A mom of one of the friends last week said the group left without Nolan when their boat began malfunctioning.
We're sinking. Can you all please come?
NBC News has obtained audio as part of a records request that details the group calling for towing assistance.
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
So,
first of all, this lady right here is a whole trip. She's a whole trip for me because she's sitting there talking about that's exactly what happened. Oh, okay. I guess you were there, ma'am. Because she sure sounds like she knows that for a fact. Okay. But I mean, I get her speculation because that's what we've all been doing. But I just find it so interesting, okay, that she came up with that whole scenario. Serena said, now we have all this YouTube investigations, okay? All right. how they were sinking and they still moving after. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so they were sinking at 11:30. I'm sorry, they were sinking at 4:30, according to Judge Ashlee Cole, and that's why they left, right? And they had to call somebody. But then the timeline or the GPS data shows that it was 7:19 when they were calling to get someone to tow them. And second of all, the boat was back at the dock, okay, in Fort Bayou. Clark says his friends know who did it. They getting a lawyer against the killer. Yeah, somebody knows something. They absolutely know. Okay, they absolutely know. Exactly. And so now here's the thing. So now you have some of the MAGA minions out there talking about we're being racist against them and we're trying to point the finger at them and it's time to segregate and all that. Like anybody cares. Now I find that also interesting because haven't we been already talking about segregation? Okay, so now so now they're talking about that. Okay, Wally the Truth says their lives are sinking. Exactly. Okay, B Blessing says, I believe one of them, like that girl, got mad because she liked Nolan, not them. I really do believe it's over something, that stupid A girl. I don't know. I think it might be something even more nefarious than that. Javon needs to lawyer up because he's next. Yeah, he should have been gotten a lawyer. He's the one that needs a lawyer, him and Trayston, because they're going to try to pin this on them. Okay, in my opinion. OG Patrice says, Queen, the person on the other boat, on the other end, didn't ask the boys how many were on the boat. Also, whomever picked them up from the boat knows how many of them they rescued. Yeah, of course. Yeah, she didn't ask. She just said, is everyone healthy or something like that? That's an interesting word, though. Is everyone healthy? I don't know. Okay, I just find it all interesting. Hold on. Let me see what this is. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, did anyone send me an email? Let me check really quick. Let me check really quick. Now, this lady seems to think she has the answers. Some of these people think they got the whole thing figured all out. Hold on. Listen to this.
That's why the boat was parked at the judge's house, because they knew the mom had to go to the other kid's house to get the phone, and the body was in the boat in front of the judge's house, waiting to be dropped off. Bingo! That's why the boat was parked at the judge's house, because they knew the mom had to go to the other kid's house to get the phone, and the body was in the boat in front of the judge's house, waiting to be dropped off.
Y'all hear that? Everybody thinks they know what's really going on, okay? First of all, I don't think they would have known that the mom was going to come to the house to pick up that phone. I think they probably weren't even thinking that the mom is going to know they even had the phone. Okay, I don't think they would have even suspected that the mom would have been tracking his phone. Because had they thought that, they likely would have either discarded the phone somewhere or taken it to the mom. I don't think they thought of that. Now, Victoria says, thank you, Queen. Enjoy the video. Be blessed, everyone. Thank you, beloved. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, I find it all interesting. Now, LL says, can they do something to the boat recording? Who knows? There's so much technology out here. I wouldn't put it past them, beloved. I think they can alter anything that they want. That's just what I absolutely think. Okay? That's just exactly what I think. All right. So with that all being said, Moom says, I like these YouTube murder mysteries and Chris Hansen. This is all crazy. Hold on. Queen, did you see the breaking news about the little girl that just went missing? No, I didn't. When did this happen? When did this happen? Can you send it to me? Hold on, let me look for it in a second. But let me check my emails first because somebody was trying to send me something. Okay, this says the boat stopped other places. The news is saying Nolan was not on the boat when they left. Okay, let's see here what this is. Okay, so I'm not sure what this is. Somebody sent me this like 32 minutes ago. Okay, here's the thing. This looks like the GPS information from the boat. We already reviewed this morning. Yeah, we already went over this morning. So that's the same thing I already showed. Okay, so I don't need to bring that up. But let's see what this is. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
District attorney who confirmed the investigation will eventually be turned over to a grand jury. They're still wondering what happened to the 18-year-old on the July 4th weekend.
I don't know why this is sideways, so please don't ask me. Someone sent me this, beloved.
Let's bring in Anna Schechter, who runs our crime unit. She's joining us right now. Anna, so what are we learning about those new details in this case? What can you tell us?
Well, we actually have obtained new movement records, GPS data. Our Jared Eggleston and Skylar Henry down in Mississippi obtained this from a Mississippi entity, and it actually shows exactly where the boat left from when it arrived at Horn Island. You're seeing, as that scrolls down on your screen there, you're seeing that July 4th, that moved.
Hold on, that's irritating me because it's sideways. Now, mind you, I actually had that video. I think I showed that video this morning, if I'm not correct. I mean, if I am correct, not if I'm not correct. Okay. But at the end of the day, listen, we know about the boat moving. Yeah, the boat absolutely more likely than not went to other places, because I still believe that they were absolutely scrubbing that boat at 3 a.m. in the morning at the judge's house. Okay, at the judge's house. So that's just what I believe. But they didn't say anything about that boat being at the judge's house. They said it was towed back to a residence.
I didn't need any more details. As soon as they said that 3 white kids got off that boat and had lawyers waiting for them, I already knew what the fuck happened. In my 28 years of life alone, I have watched this happen countless amounts of times, and I have watched white people get away with it every single fucking time. And I'm tired of it. Y'all said, let's wait for the investigation. Let's wait for more details. Here are the details. There was no water in his lungs. He did not drown. There are pictures of him at the after party, meaning he came back from that island alive. He was beaten so badly, he was only identifiable through dental records. Are you putting 2 and 2 together yet? Are you understanding why these conversations need to be happening in your house to make sure that your white child is a safe person when they go out into this world? Because let me just say this. If my white son is out in public and your white child is being racist or bigoted or just a piece of shit, he's going to make sure your white kid is only identifiable through dental records. And then he's going to come home to me. He's going to let me know what your kid's name was. I'm going to find you and your entire family. And I'm going to make sure every single one of you is only identifiable through dental records.
Do y'all hear this? She said she's going to make sure every single one of them is...
I am so sick of watching this shit happen. That shit happened on the 4th of July. 250 years of freedom, my ass.
That lady is a trip right there, okay? But what I must say is she doesn't know if there was water in his lungs or not. Because again, we don't have the autopsy report. And then she said that they beat him at that pool party. We don't know if that's factual either, because the person that posted that stuff lied about saying they knew Christine Wansley. And if they didn't know her and they lied about that, I don't know what else they lied about. So I don't trust any of it at this point. Okay, but one thing I do know is I'm waiting to see that autopsy report. Now, here's a mother, a Black woman. I wasn't going to play this because it has music in the background. Hold on, I don't want to play it. I'm not going to play it because it has music in the background, and I don't know if it's copywritten, if it's copyrighted, and then I don't want to get this video blocked. I had to already do that this morning because they got me for showing that video of XXXTentacion. Clearly, ScrewTube was hating because I didn't even play the audio. I just showed the clip. Okay, so I had to edit that part out where I showed you all his video where he puts the rope around that little white boy's neck and hangs him, and all the white folk got mad. This lady right here, this is her. She said her son also was going with his white friends and came up dead. And they said that it was drowning. And don't forget the other lady that I showed you all a few days ago. And she said the same thing happened to her son, but her son didn't get, his case didn't get the acknowledgement or didn't get the publicity that Nolan Wells has gotten. Okay, so these things are happening all the time. I just want you all to pay attention. This is nothing new. These things happen so much that I don't even understand how these minions think they can sit up there and try to convince us that there's nothing to see here. We should always be suspicious when these things happen because these things have happened so many times. It's a pattern. We don't have a pattern of white folk being the lone one off with a bunch of black folk and them coming up missing and then turning up dead. We don't have a pattern of that. So if that did happen, we could say to the white folk, well, listen, let's just wait till the facts come out, okay? We don't know what happened. Because at that point, we wouldn't have any reason likely to think that there was something suspicious. But with them, we do, because these things always happen. Okay, these are reoccurring things from decades, not just recently, but for decades, these things have been happening. Okay, Emmett Till died 71 years ago. All right, and these things are still occurring. So I'm sorry, they convinced me with it at the end of the day. But listen, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hold on. Oh, I got to show you all this video. Now, this young dude right here says that he knows somebody in Mississippi, and he says that they're on to him or something. I don't know if he's clout chasing or what, but let's go to this clip.
Me making videos about Nolan Wells has got me on their radar down there at Ocean Springs. Oh yes, I have been made aware that I am on their radar down there in Ocean Springs. Y'all know that. Y'all know who I mean by they. Well, prepare to watch this, bitch, because I got some more heat for y'all. Check this shit out. Y'all know the judge Ashlee Cole that released that bullshit ass statement lying. She finna be sick of me. I got some heat on her. Listen to this shit. Somebody wrote in, they said, so the kid who stepmom is the judge, they're talking about Ashlee Cole. There was a huge suicide case in Ocean Springs a few years ago, and she told the grieving mother she was not allowed to post anything about it on social media. Aubrey Wyatt was the girl. So she's a horrible ass bitch. That's number one. They also said she also had a case where a mother told her she feared for her and her children's lives from her husband. So could they please meet at a police station to exchange their kids? Ashlee Cole told her no. And guess what? That she met up with the husband, and the husband shot and killed her at a Dollar General parking lot. Yeah, you ain't know I was going to find that out, bitch. I got a mole in Ocean Springs. It's an old white man. Good luck trying to find him, ho. Everybody in Ocean Springs know about this case. Everybody know about the mom and the mom that met up with the husband that got shot because you told her she could not meet at the police station. Everybody know about that. You just a horrible ass bitch. And that's not all I got. Apparently, Wyatt's brother Ike is talking shit on Snapchat. Look at this shit. He says, I see you reposted this video, so I want to let you know what really happened. Can't be listening to all these black people saying his friends did something. He was with my brother talking about Wyatt because they got the same last name that day on my boat, and he chose to stay. They know who the girl is. It happens at Horn all of the time. I don't know what he's referring to happening at Horn. I don't know. It says these guys posting shit on TikTok are all worthless blacks who want nothing but views. Nolan basically lived at my house for the last 3 years. We would never do anything to him. Worthless blacks? Y'all don't know how I'm getting all this information, bitch. I told y'all I'm on you bitches' ass about Nolan, and I'm not letting up, ho. Worthless blacks? But y'all not racist. First of all, my mo down there, that old white man, he told me everybody in Ocean Springs is fucking racist. Every single person. He said, Artie, don't step a toe down here, bitch, because that shit will be gone. They are racist down here. He said, I'm fighting with everybody. I've been fighting with everybody down here my whole life because I'm not like them. This is what my old white man Mo told me that's down here. Oh, yes. I know I'm already on your radar down there. And guess what, bitch? I never gave a fuck, bitch. You already know where I'm from. I'm from Philly. I never gave a fuck, ho. And I'm not letting up on you hoes' asses. Every little piece of information I get, I'm putting out on the internet on you bitches. Yeah, y'all shocked. You don't know how I got these messages. I got a mo, bitch. Apparently, me making videos.
Now, the old man that he's talking about, the old white man, that's clearly his sugar daddy. Okay, that's clearly His sugar daddy telling him all of that, in my opinion, honey. He is a whole mess. Okay, but now mind you, that message that he showed you all, that's the same message that I showed you all days ago. Okay, please pay attention. Where Wyatt's brother was saying all these black people or whatever and talking trash about black folk. Okay, so yeah, we do know that they're racist. Absolutely. Okay, absolutely. So with that all being said, I'm gonna go to this video that I thought was funny where this girl is talking about them talking about segregation. Now this video is from last year. Remember when Trump came out with that executive order, okay? But yeah, now they're talking about, oh, we can go back to segregation because they want to try to be racist against us and whatever. Yeah, we can. We've been begging for it. Like, please make it all make sense.
On this app too. And I'm probably late, but I know segregation is not a topic being held right now. I know he's not fucking dumb. It's 2025. Who's going for that? Actually, me. Sign me up. Cause I don't want nothing to do with y'all. For real. We could and you could cause like in the first time there was segregation, we were flourishing. We had black everything, our own black towns, and guess what y'all did? Y'all looked at us and was like, the hell is going over there? They supposed to be coming back to us. They doing better than we are. We want what they got. Boom. So what y'all gonna think is gonna happen now in 2025? And it's not just black people down here no more. It's more than just us. You white people just come, what the hell? And I'm sorry for the white people that just was born white and don't got no parts in this. But y'all gotta go to shit. This is actually crazy. Like, this is really like imagine somebody telling you you can't drink out of a water fountain or some shit, or you can't come in. Da, 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 da. Do y'all know we set trends? We bring the business to y'all. Everything comes from black people. Even if we ain't create this shit, we created the revenue for y'all. Now, what the hell? Y'all are hurting yourselves. This is some self-destruction on another level. Y'all could never do anything without us. That's why y'all needed us as slaves. That's why y'all bombed us when we had our own shit and was flourishing by ourselves and shit like that, fucking up our shit. And that's why y'all tried to keep us on a low vibration still to this day. Without y'all, bro, y'all would be like ants and we would be big dogs. Like y'all, there would be no competition. There is no competition, even with y'all holding us down and, you feel me, trying to keep us in a place that you can't, because we are loved by God. Like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to, this is correct. I know I got to get off this app for a sec. It's okay. We're going to leave them to the young niggas, to the YNs of the world. Go ahead. Try your luck with that.
Okay. So I thought that was very interesting. Greta Lee says America is so hypocritical, bombing their own citizens, then try to act as if they're normal moral authority. Exactly. Queen, did you play that video I sent you? Hold on. You sent me a video? After this, we're out of here, beloveds. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. Hold on. OG Patrice, I don't see a video that you sent, beloved. Did you send it to my phone, maybe? Hold on. No, I don't have an email from you, OG Patrice. I don't have an email from you. With that all being said, what is this right here? This is my home. Okay. Hold on. Y'all sending me some stuff. Hold on. I'm gonna have to show this on another broadcast because I'm about to conclude this one. Hold on. So, yeah, somebody sent me videos talking about how Nolan's parents are being disrespected. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. People are saying that the woman's not grieving, and people are upset because the father said that they don't see color or whatever. Well, that's obvious to me that they feel that way because that's why Nolan had so many white friends, maybe, okay? Queen said she off the clock at this point. Yeah, I absolutely am. Okay, I absolutely am. With that all being said, listen, everyone enjoy the rest of this night. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. I'll see you all in the morning with your morning wake-up call and any further details that I have on this situation. Okay, so until then, peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got